Hey fellas, Orange Thief here. Fallout New Vegas is a popular post-apocalyptic RPG with a loyal fanbase. I personally enjoyed this game most of my life, as it is one of the first RPGs I have ever played. In this game, you must loot what weapons and equipment you can in order to survive. But what if we took this core concept for looting and removed it from the game? So today, I ask the question that no one else is asking. Can you beat Fallout New Vegas without looting any items? Allow me to present some of the basic rules as I awake from my coma. I am not permitted to loot or pick up any items that are added to my inventory, including quest items. However, if the console adds an item to my inventory, such as the items added at the beginning of the game, as well as quest rewards, then that is fine. I am also not permitted to loot any caps. However, I can take no objects as they are not added to the inventory screen. The same applies for any items that are immediately removed upon interaction. So upon waking, I named my character, created the peak of masculinity, and then I distributed my special points. Versatility is the name of the game here, hence the very odd special array you see here. I then took Barter, Melee, and Unarmed as my tag skills, and grabbed Good Nature and the skilled traits in order to maximize my skill points. I then went out into the Wasteland for the first time. The Courier's Armory pack, or whatever the hell it's called, gave me quite an effective arsenal to begin with. So, first things first, I went to Sunny Smiles, and I did her tasks for some, well, free ammo. Saved a woman by killing her. Murdered some dogs, as they made the mistake of living in the first place, and made my way to the NCR Correctional Facility. Not having enough caps for the entrance fee, I headed back to Goodsprings to sell some shit. Then, I talked to Eddie in order to get some work that, well, mainly involved just fucking murdering people. I continued on the way to Prim for a job where an NCR trooper had the fucking nerve to talk down to me. I don't need to tell you how that ended. I then found Johnson Nash in order to confirm a suspicion we had about a possible attack on the correctional facility. Our suspicion confirmed, I did the only thing a loyal gangster would do, and betrayed the hand that fed me. It didn't take long to kill all of them, and deliver the message to Eddie that no one tells me what to do. I made sure to clean up on my way out of the correctional facility, but left Myers alive as I had plans for him later, and then returned to Goodsprings to talk to Trudy in order to progress the main plotline of Goodsprings. I mainly did this so that way I could fight the remaining powder gangers in the area and kill them all. Well, I say fight. It was more of a just slaughter. My bloodlust not yet quelled, I then turned on the good people of Goodsprings in order to, well, sate said blood loss. The fight was a little difficult as Victor decided to turn on me, but it wasn't before long that everyone laid dead. I followed up that slaughter by making a nice visit to my friend Doc Mitchell, who appeared to have been fine with the fact that I had just slaughtered all his friends and family. For this acceptance, I decided to let him live for the time being. The next thing on the agenda was to head to the Bison Steve Casino in order to clear out the patrons there. I made relatively quick work of them, however, Deputy Beagle suffered from a explosive incident. So I looted his diary off of his corpse, which is indeed not in violation of our rules. As you will see, it is not in my inventory, but in my notes. Like an idiot, I then proceeded to drop a weapon repair kit in an attempt to repair my machete. And since it was now on the ground, I was not allowed to loot it. I proceeded to take out all my anger on the remaining convicts in the area, and then told Mayers that he was now the official sheriff of Prim. I then went to go kill some more convicts as I decided to sate some more bloodlust in a justifiable way, and made my way to the Mojave Outpost to make Myers being the sheriff official. After completing those errands, I decided to take a good walk around before moving on to the next area, and this is when I found out that those motherfucker goddamn powder gangers were still alive. I quickly corrected this mistake with my brand new arsenal of weapons, and, as per usual, my favorite machete. Triumphant, and still indeed blood hungry, I then decided to try and pick a fight with a pack of bighorners. This didn't go as I expected. Arriving in Nipton, I met an ex-powder ganger who I then proceeded to behead, just like the rest of them. I was then greeted by a wolfhead man who I made quick friends with, and then nearly shit my pants as this Viper gunslinger proceeded to scare me. I killed her, and then I proceeded to cut off her legs so she would be crippled in hell forever. Not being a complete psychopathic monster, I sent her friends with her, and then made my way into the next nice town of Novak. I offered sexual favors to a veteran for some information, and then proceeded to make my way out of the area, but not before buying up on some interesting stuff, such as that gun, which has one of the higher crit rate chances in the game, which is great for the crit chance build I'm going for. Because I was bored and in desperate need of some XP, I then decided to head to Helios 1 in order to do the Thatla Guild Sun quest. I was naive and a fool, as once I had gotten there I realized that my skill was not high enough to proceed with the quest. I also looked around for what felt like 3 hours, and could not find the Poseidon Energy Engineer key, as I am really stupid and refused to use the internet at the time. Looking back at Novak one last time, I decided to make my way to Boulder City, but not before murdering some Viper gang leaders. Upon arrival at Boulder City, I corrected their Great Khan conundrum, and then made my way into Vegas, but not before I was ambushed by 2 lake lurks who, well, they really wanted my fucking lunch money. Loading a save, I now found that I was being stalked by a robot. Not really optimal compared to the lake lurks, but I'd rather get potentially raped by a robot than get actually murdered by some lake lurks. Unfortunately, this robot was also out for blood, so I didn't really have any better options to take than to just fucking run. I passed through Ranger Station Alpha, seemingly avoiding Victor for the time being, but unfortunately those damn fucking lake lurks were still waiting for me. Just like the 2 tall fuckers in my neighborhood who keep jumping me for my money, I told these lake lurks the same thing I told them. You'll get your money when I get my meth. I visited Camp Golf and, well, decided to help out a little bit for some free XP, and then I looked on at the marvels of fucking nature. I then made my way to a nearby motel where I decided to play Exterminator, but like when I'm having my night terrors, I just got up on the bed and started shooting. Then I killed a chem addict in what was totally self-defense, and slowly made my way to the Crimson Caravan Company, because I had an inkling that they might just have a better hat than what I had, and I was fucking right. Now looking fly like a motherfucking badass, I went to Camp McCarran to offer my assistance. I didn't really do a lot there, you know, just defused a bomb on a monorail, saved 1,000 lives, you know, no big deal. Enough with being sidetracked, I finally decided to make my way into Freeside, where I would then murder some thugs in self-defense, and then butcher them so they would remain crippled in hell forever. Realizing I had already done that gag, I decided to recruit Arcade Gannon by soliciting him for sex, and then murdered a drug dealer since he refused to give me any meth for my dirty-ass money. I then gambled a whole lot, as you traditionally do, and then got myself a job at the Silver Rush, where I then proceeded to let a fellow gambler in, who honestly may have just been a suicide bomber, I have no idea. Controversially shot a black man in self-defense, and then made my way onto the strip where Victor the Rapist robot was waiting for me. I also made a deal with some bounty hunter I was supposed to hunt down or something, I don't even know. And finally made my way to the Tops, where I then convinced Benny's right-hand man to help me, well, assassinate him. I then proceeded to draw my gun and shoot him in the fucking face before he even had a chance to draw. And, well, this was kind of a mistake, as I was now unable to loot the platinum chip, as that would violate our rules. So I loaded a save, and this time I decided to take his deal, which resulted in him ambushing me. I took care of his hitman with quite the efficiency and heard some voice lines I had never heard before.
The cleaners will knock twice. What the fuck?
Yeah, they fucked up my leg, and Benny was gonna pay in the only way that I knew how. By bankrupting his casino by breaking the motherfucking bank. Hell yeah, bud. If you're wondering why I like to gamble so much in this game, well, this is why. One bullet wound away from being an official paraplegic, I decided to take a job with the NCR, but not before taking a visit to all the bighorners from before and, how do I put this nicely, murdering every single one of them because I felt like it. My bloodlust sated for now, I decided to head to Cottonwood Cove so I could go to the fort and finally deal with Benny. I talked to Caesar and, might I say, nice fucking forehead. I went into the fort bunker, which was apparently all part of Mr. House's fucking fabulous plan, so naturally, I complied for the time being. But we all know what happens when people tell me what to do. I then went back to Caesar, who then told me to execute Benny, which took me, well, 2, 3 No. Let's go with 8 swings. 8 swings. Yeah, something like that. 8 swings to blow up his fucking head and legs. Now bloodthirsty, I became a pit fighter for a spell where I proceeded to murder everyone that stood in my fucking way. Then returned to the Lucky 38 to finally deliver the platinum chip to Mr. House. It was then finally time to go visit the boomers, which naturally, big brain, just ran straight for the fucking gates, cause who the fuck gonna stop me? I got stem packs for days, motherfuckers. You can't stop my meth addiction. Needless to say, they were rather surprised that I made it through relatively unharmed, and I spoke to their leader, who told me to help them out. Naturally, I did just that by patching up some people and swimming out into a fucking lake that gave me gonorrhea, but I got a fucking plane, so neat. I then went to the king to discuss the issues with the NCR and told him to chill the fuck out since, well, he owed me one. I then took a quick trip to Hoover Dam in order to visit Colonel Cassandra Moore, who discussed some more con problems with me. So, naturally, I went to the fucking place to take care of the cons. But, well, this is where we came into a bit of a problem concerning their allegiance to the Legion. Well, you see, my original plan was to play all angles, helping the NCR until I had to kill House, but the problem with this is that these guys want some fucking proof in order to break off the Legion alliance. So, yeah, I wasn't gonna do all that, but before leaving, I decided to convince Carl to get fucking murdered for my entertainment. Since I was no longer playing all angles, I made a mad dash to take out my favorite boy, Mr. House. So I ran in there, slashing to pieces with a fucking machete, left the Lucky 38, and made my way to the top so I could grab Yes Man in order to, well, you know, take over the place. This is where I took a break for the game for a while, and when I came back, well, this happened. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that save is corrupted. Fuck! I loaded a quick save I made before killing House, and because I had forgotten how I had previously killed him, which was with a machete, I decided to give him the Viking send-off and just blow him the fuck up. I then grabbed Yes Man from the tops and brought him over to the Lucky 38, where it was finally time to take over in New Vegas. Luckily for me, I had already met a couple of the families that I needed to see, but first things first on my list was Gamora, who I proceeded to try and murder all of them. This didn't go as I fucking expected, a lot like with the Bighorners. So, I decided to let them live for now, or rather forever, because I was too lazy to go back. I then discussed some assassination plans with Walter outside the Ultralux, and then headed into the Ultralux, where I then proceeded to, well, kill everyone inside, including my target. Needless to say, Walter was happy, and I headed back to the Lucky 38 to grab some stuff, and was greeted by something absolutely fucking magical.
Engaging target. Targeting.
I dismissed Arcade for the time being and then tried to make my way to the 188 trading post in order to grab Veronica so I could get easier access to the Brotherhood of Steel. I realized really quickly that I was actually heading north and not south, corrected my mistake and went the other way, but very quickly realized that I was still going the wrong way when I started to see Deathclaws in the distance. I continued down the road a little bit and decided to Google whether or not I was going the right direction, followed by grabbing a drink and taking a small break. And, well, this is where I turn off the music and discuss something. So it turns out that I was, indeed, going the right direction. But there was one fucking issue that came, after the fact. And that was that the game decided to crash after I had done a bunch of other things, mainly for Yes Man, including accessing the Brotherhood of Steel bunker. So sadly, you're just gonna have to take my word for it, as when my game crashed, the entire recording that I had made afterwards was completely fucking corrupted. So, to this, I say, Todd, if I ever see you on the fucking street, I'm gonna goddamn rip out your eyes and fuck. Luckily, before the crash had happened, I saved just before I had found the remaining Pattergangers, who I then proceeded to take my anger out on, as I had lost over an hour of fucking footage. So I slowly murdered every single fucking one of them, and when my bloodlust was finally sated, made my way out of the vault in order to prepare for the final battle. So I bought up as much ammo as I fucking could, upgraded my armor, and made it to Yes Man to hand in the quests. And then, the second battle of Hoover Dam started. Getting through the dam was a relative slog, as the vendors for some reason weren't carrying much 5.56, but what they did have were plenty of grenades. So what was originally a crit build had now become an explosives build, which I was okay with, because explosives are fucking fun. I pranked two idiots who abandoned their post in the dam, and then installed Yes Man into the dam. I then had a melee duel with a legionary, which made me remember why I don't like melee combat in this game. Then I ran out to view the Armageddon that was occurring, and proceed to create more by blowing up some more legionaries. As I was approaching the end of the dam, and thus the end of the game, I realized that my journey here has been quite a fucking difficult one. So before heading in, I decided to turn down the difficulty to anything easier than... That explains a lot. I turned down the difficulty to easy so I wouldn't fucking want to kill myself, and then proceeded to make quick work of all the Praetorians in the compound. Hell, this one fucker even ran away and I had to chase him for what felt like 30 minutes, just to ultimately fucking murder him in cold blood. It was fucking fun. I then stood upon the Legate, who I convinced to quote, 1v1 me bro, and then doped myself up with every drug I had before blowing his sorry ass up with grenades. It was kind of a quick one and seemed sort of unfair. So I pulled out my machete to add a couple extra slashes to make it as if the fight was very fair. I then met with General Oliver and told him to get fucked, then asked Yes Man to yeet him off the fucking dam, and I beat Fallout New Vegas without looting any items. And that's gonna do it for us today. If you enjoyed what you watched, please leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe, and if you see any videos on screen that you are interested in, go ahead and check them out. I'll see you guys in the next one.